So the in-game currency gold in Hex, you can trade to other players for platinum. Oh, I forgot to set my battle board in my sleeve. That's sad. Oh, my sleeve is there. This hand's pretty good. So people that haven't seen this deck before, this is an old standard deck that's got some upgrades in it. So this is a mono sapphire deck that's kind of a tempo combo deck is the best way I can describe it. It has some draws that are just like purely aggressive and tempo draws, but it also has some kind of explosive combo style kills on turns 4 to 5. Yep. Yeah, it's really awesome. So you can go back and click through and like see what decks you played against. Are all the decks in there? So you can like look at, and you can see like, it's nice to know too, like, could you imagine that with like MTGO data? If they were like, you know, we got to like someone 5-0'd, like, do they just get all good matchups? Well, now we know. Yep, you can also earn packs by playing the constructed ladder, which is free, and you can earn packs from, hey, $5 donation, $5 for more Hex Immortal gauntlets. Thank you, Shin. I appreciate that. Like I said, my goal moving forward is to do a minimum of 2 gauntlets a week, depending on how my time permits, because like this weekend, for instance, I'm going out of town, but weekends that I'm going to be home, I'm probably going to play a lot while I'm home. This card is really awesome. So it is a 0/5 for 3 that gives all of our spiders plus attack for each venom we control. And then whenever our opponent plays a non-resource card, it puts 2 spiderling eggs in their deck. And spiderling eggs are these negative cards that when my opponent draws it, it gives me a 1/1 unblockable spider. So basically it punishes my opponent for playing cards while this is in play. Awesome. Yeah, it looks great, Fred. And I'm excited to link that to people and show them how it looks. All right, that's going to kill my Magistrate here. They're going to choose, I sacrifice a troop with 5 defense or more, but they put 2 eggs in their deck. You can see my opponent's deck count's going to go up every time I play a card. I'm going to play Arcane Focus here, looking for a Shard. And if I miss on a Shard, I still get to play Skittering Cultivator. So we hit the Shard. Consult the Talon is another super powerful card that's a lot of fun. Powerful cards are fun, regardless of what some people think. This costs 7, but it has a mechanic called Mobilize, and it has Mobilize 3 times. So every troop I exhaust when I play this card makes it cost 2 cheaper. So next turn I'll be able to play this Skittering Cultivator and then exhaust all 3 of my troops and play this as a draw 3 for 1 resource. So this is a customizable card. And the customization my opponent has in it are Life Drain, and when this deals damage to an opposing champion, their troops get +1/+1 permanently. So I get to go ahead and play Skittering Cultivator, and Runebind's a great draw here, because Runebind is going to let me protect my troops in play from any possible thing my opponent could put down next turn, which is great. Let's go ahead and Arcane Focus. Focus for a focus. Yo, dog, we really don't need more than 5 resources here. And then, so this is kind of a synergy deck. So I mentioned that this makes my spiders bigger for each venom I control. Well, this Skittering Cultivator says when it diligences, it summons 2 of those Dreadling troops like the Redlings deck makes. And these are spiders. They're robot shroomkin spiders. So my Tribunal Magistrate is going to make the Dreadlings larger. So Runebind takes any card in play or currently on the chain and slides it off to the side in kind of the stasis state, and it stays there until the controller of that card draws a resource. Repoplar is fine. So this is going to diligence and make some spiders. And these are bigger for every venom I control. And now I can play this Tribunal Magistrate out, which is going to give them 2 of these. These have 9 attack now. Am I almost lethal? We're almost lethal. I'm going to focus here because that Copycat is lethal. I'm going to take a Shardsworn because it allows me to get some burst damage in. Do I want to Runebind this? Yeah, Arcane Focus is effectively sleight of hand. That's a good way to compare it. So if I don't Runebind this, I can't get in with the Skittering Cultivator, so I think it's worth Runebinding this. And then I'm going to hit them for a good clean 20 ball here. And remember, you can see my opponent's deck has 54 cards in it right now. Their deck didn't start with much more than 60. I think they had exactly 60. I didn't pay attention. Every time they play a card while these Magistrates are out, Spider Eggs are being added to their deck. So we have good draws off our opponent's deck right now too, which is sweet. So they need to play cards to get out of the situation, but the more cards they play, the more Eggs Tribunal Magistrate stacks up in their deck, which is quite great. Will of God with the brand new Twitch Prime support. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thanks for supporting my content here and helping me do what I do. I do appreciate that. Welcome. Hope you're having a good Tuesday wherever you're at. They've got to be dead to these Dreadlings, right? I guess this has Life Drain. I have this Runebind to protect against they have removal too. So not only they're very dead, but I'm gonna play this Tribunal Magistrate just to like remind them of how dead they are. They were dead on board, but now they're super dead. What's going on, Rad? Howdy, howdy. Alright, so the opponent looks like they're playing a mono diamond deck. I don't actually know that I want to reserve anything here. I kind of think I just want to hit submit. I think our game plan of just like tempoing them out with Runebinds is probably very good here. I got like some pretty specific cards in my reserves of like Halts and Verdicts against like removal heavy decks or combo decks, and Frostbite for really aggressive decks, and Transmog for aggressive decks, and like Deny for control decks, and Psychic Ascension to let us grind against control decks. But I think I'm just going to click submit here. How much does this deck cost? I think this deck is somewhere in the $50 to $100 range, but I don't know for sure offhand. When we finish this gauntlet run, it'll be up on PvP tools, and then I can link you and get a price estimate easily from there. I really like the Hex content on YouTube, so I thought I'd come check out your Twitch. Keep up the great... Awesome! It's good to know that you're supporting for the Hex content too. I'm glad. Everything will always make it up on YouTube as always. We've been playing for about 2 hours today. We just finished a gauntlet with Redlings. We're playing some Empress now. The opponent probably has some reserving decisions to make. Deny plus Spiders is quite good. Quite good. I need to list my booster packs in the auction house so we continue to have enough platinum for playing Immortal gauntlets. Got enough for 2 more gauntlets in the bank right now, but we got stuff to sell those 7 packs. What we got from the Redlings gauntlet? Oh, I forgot to set my board up. I need to make a note. Set battle board. This hand's pretty good. Warpsteel Shardsworn into Consult the Talon is a really nice curve because Warpsteel Shardsworn creates a depth crawler when it comes into play, so it provides 2 bodies to mobilize for Consult the Talons. This hand needs another resource, but again, Hex has great digital mechanics that smooth out a lot of variance that games like this tend to have. So this Sapphire Ice is going to get to Fate Weave, which guarantees me a 3rd resource if I don't draw one naturally. We didn't draw a resource. So the card we just drew is actually the namesake of this deck. This deck is often called Minor Sapphire Empress. So this is a prison-style card. It's a 2/4 with Flight that whenever you gain a Sapphire threshold, so when we play a resource, we get to exhaust an opposing troop. And when you have 5 Sapphire thresholds, your opponent's cards don't ready. So basically this locks your opponent out of readying their cards every turn. Which is quite excellent. I actually might not want to consult on 3 just because I'd probably have to discard. Yeah, Anarelix is annoying. It's unblockable and whatnot, but like in this shard base specifically, like, and we have Empress to lock it out, right? We can also Copycat opposing dual shard cards on occasion. So this card can't be blocked except by except by opposing except by prismatic cards, which means dual shard cards. I don't have any dual shard cards in my deck. Immortal never had a ladder. Immortal had a free Q once upon a time, and the free Q for Immortal no longer exists. A 2-drop here is a great draw, because it means I can play this out and then consult the Talons here. And not discard cards, which is quite excellent. So we're looking for a Commander P.R.O.M.P.T or a Tribunal Magistrate, or even just getting this set up to get some going here. Well, this can't be targeted by Empress of Ice, right? Consult's like a fixed treasure cruise, like a draw 3 that's really balanced. The fact that they burned a Winter's Grasp on that is real good for us. So I'm going to go ahead and play my Empress out here, because it's going to lock down my opponent's thing. And then I have Runebind to protect my Empress, which is nice. Let's see if we can target their thing. I don't think we can. Yeah, Empress can't target it. So my champion power here is basically to enable faster Empress locks. It gives me a threshold of my choice for 4 charges. So even though it's only the 4th turn, so I've only played 4 blue resources, my Empress has their troops locked down now because I have 5 thresholds, with the 5th being for my champion power here. I'm choosing not to play an Arcane Focus or Consult the Talon this turn because I'd like to hold up Runebind to protect my board. So again, this is kind of like the tempo aspect of the deck. You saw, we saw kind of the combo aspect of the deck last game. Whoa, Heart of Agony, Rutherford Banks is really sweet. I actually didn't look at my opponent's champion. So my opponent's champion is a 7-charge champion that puts a troop from their crypt into play. And the Heart of Agony resource they just played costs them 3 health, but it jumps them up 3 charges instead of just 1. So some good synergy there. I think I just want these Skittering Cultivators. Hopefully we find a 5th resource with this, so that way I can play a Skittering Cultivator this turn and still hold up. Yeah, sweet. So there was a Copycat there, but I think I want to prioritize my 5th resource so I can put the Skittering Cultivator into play and then still hold up a Runebind. Yeah, Heart of Agony is sweet. It's a good enabler, but unlike the Ruby Charges gem, I feel like it comes at a really meaningful cost. Alright, so that was a little bit of an aggressive attack on my part. I have this Runebind to protect from the Sunlit Sentence, which is nice. But you definitely need to be conscious of Sunlit Sentence in the future. So Sunlit Sentence is a 5-cost card that destroys every attacking troop. The fact that I don't have anything up here now means that alright, discard a random card, you can have a Daybreak. So, in addition to destroying every attacking troop, this also does the mechanic called Verdict twice, which is a Punisher mechanic to make me choose between 2 different things. So I could either discard a card at random or give my opponent this Daybreak constant, which gains them a health. I'm generally going to kill them in large chunks, so I'm going to give them that, and making their only troop larger is fine here as well. Oh, that's neat. It shows what this card is being affected by. That's really... Is that new? I feel like that wasn't there previously. It, like, says what it's being affected by. It's really sweet, Punishing Waterfalls. It's been around for years. Maybe I just never paid attention. Maybe I've never paid attention. I definitely don't remember that being a thing. What's going on, Faithless Looting? You know what? Maybe it didn't work under Wine. It doesn't always work. Maybe it didn't work under Wine. Because I previously almost always played on Wine, right? The beta Linux client is still pretty new. So I'm going to play this, and then I'm going to go ahead and use Consult the Talons here to go ahead and exhaust these to draw 3 cards. God, do I just want to draw 3 more again? Who am I kidding? I just want to draw 3 more again. Oh, yeah, just take the cards and inject them right into my veins. Inject the cards right into my veins. All right, and so we saw Tribunal Magistrate in the last game as one of kind of our payoff cards for having lots of attackers. Commander P.R.O.M.P.T's another one. So Commander P.R.O.M.P.T says your exhausted troops, so your troops when attacking, have +2 attack, and your ready troops have +2 defense. So next turn, these are going to make Dreadlings. And we're going to get to slam down this Commander P.R.O.M.P.T to just, like, put them deep in the ground here, hopefully. And again, their troops and board aren't readying because we have this Empress of Ice out. Guidance is fine. Yeah, they should be pretty dead next turn. And they have to do, like, double crazy, right? Because they have to do their crazy through the Runebind, or have something like a Guidance to undo it. If you want some details on how some of the subtleties between Hex and Magic are different, there's an article here that's really good. So this Kismet Whim card is a card that they keep making off of a resource that they've played. So there are shardless resources that create these extra cards here. And this transforms a card they control into a random card of the same cost. So they keep, like, trying to roll a better card here, basically. All right, so even if they have something like Sunlit Sentence here at this point, I get to go ahead and play this. And then I get to go ahead and play this Commander P.R.O.M.P.T here. Nope, just Hex. Hex has its own Vorthos. And then my Warpsteel Shardsworn has a gem in it where I can pay 2 to make 2 Dreadlings one time. So I'm going to have 6 Dreadlings this turn. And then I still have this Runebind up. So if they have a Diamond's Favor, we get to say no, stop it. Now we get to smashy with everything. I think I'm actually not going to attack with the Empress, because if they have another Diamond's Favor, I want to give them a coin flip to not kill my Commander P.R.O.M.P.T. Because my Commander P.R.O.M.P.T, if it dies, it's not going to be lethal. Yeah, -15. Getcha. Yep, the Candles deck is still legal. And you can actually, what's it called? The standard ladder gives you prizes on demand now, which is great. Which is great, excellent. So we're going to play as much of this gauntlet as the kids allow, and then I'll be back later tonight, probably about 4 or 5 hours from now. The kids are currently allowing me to play some Hex. Aren't they great? Aren't they great? They're so tired. It's tough being little and sick. Yeah, they implemented Cosmic Coins. Also, the Immortal ladder, the Immortal gauntlets here, you can play on demand for prizes as well. Very similar to how what's it called works. Leagues and Magic Online work. European. Well, you'll be able to catch it all on YouTube. Everything gets archived to YouTube as always. Well, I'm glad you enjoy the YouTube stuff. Oh, I should change the title. Hex Immortal. Empress. It said Red Links from earlier still. Daddy's little tax credits. The tiniest one has awoken. How you doing, man? You gonna sleep some more? Or you want something to eat? Do you want a bar? No. Okay. It's alive! 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 It's alive How's everyone doing? The whore has awoken. It'll be interesting to see. We queued into Yassi a couple times earlier. One of the things... And I'm about to download Hex. Well, it's free to play. It's free if you want to get into it. So I always tell people, like, people have to ask, like, should I try this? I'm like, well, you can give it a try for free. And if you like it, building a cheap deck is cheap. And then, you know, play the constructed ladder and earn prizes into other things. The way Hex has restructured a lot of their organized play in the last few months has made it easier to buy a cheap deck and then actually build a collection with just that cheap deck. So if you're hesitant to put too much money into it, you can put in a little bit and then work your way towards more. You know, you can also put in nothing, but grinding from nothing is going to take a lot longer than like buying like a $10 or $15 or $25 deck and going from there. Yeah, and Immortal is just like, it reminds me of like why I love playing Modern and Legacy, right? Just like a bunch of these cards are just like, I started playing Hex when there were only 3 sets in the game. 2.5, 3 years ago. So like getting to play with these cards that like were sweet cards that I played with, you know, 2 years ago when I first started playing is fun. I think the 3... Yeah, it's on Steam. You can also download it directly from Hex's website. So search Hex Shards of Fate on Steam or go to hexccg.com. What have the queue times been like? I think this is the longest we've sat in the queue so far. This is my 9th or 10th Immortal match today. We had one earlier that took probably about 3 minutes, but other than that, they've been like sub 60 seconds or so. So this is new, and like one of the things that like, because Immortal is largely unexplored as a format, a lot of people are hesitant to like dive into a format without having like some tangible data. So that's why I really want to focus on streaming. I'm probably going to write a couple things about Immortal. Hex Primal asked me if I wanted to write a couple articles for them about decks, because if people have like something to work from and some videos to watch, they're more tempted to try the format and dive in if they see something that like has a little bit of results. Without Lasgar's Vengeance, how does anyone beat this deck with dudes? I don't know, BDP. Noxious Revival's pretty good. Noxious Revival's pretty good. The CCS does still exist. The Bash and Clash have been restructured, but I actually prefer the way they've been restructured. Sadistic playing Takahiro. I put my Ice Battle board on. It seemed appropriate for this. So Takahiro, 18 starting health, 3 charges, sacrifice a troop, draw a card. Noxious Glory, yeah, that one. So you knew what I meant. This hand is great, and by great, I mean it's passable. I really don't want to draw my resources with this hand, and thankfully, I've got 2 copies of Sapphire Ice. So the Sapphire Ice is going to Fate Weave for me, and it's going to stack the top of my deck with a non-resource. So, God bless and welcome. The Steam reviews for this game are obnoxious for 2 reasons. One, there are a bunch... Hex is a very good TCG and a very good digital card game, but when they marketed their Kickstarter, they advertised their game as being more than just a digital card game. They originally intended to do like this full-blown MMO style thing. So there are a bunch of little salty monsters that didn't understand that Kickstarters aren't a guarantee, and they're pitching you an idea for a game, and games evolve and change. There are a bunch of people that like to leave Hex negative reviews literally everywhere. Like they seek it out to shit on it because they're upset that everything that was promised in the Kickstarter hasn't happened. I don't know if they should necessarily pull it off Steam. Like, Steam is really convenient. Like, on my Windows computers, installing on Steam is faster than installing through their regular patcher. I have no idea. Haven't played with it. We'll probably play with it at some point. It smells like it smells like there might be poop soup on the other side of the room. I'll be right back. I need to check on that. Yeah, originally it was marketed as a big PvE game, and I don't care about PvE stuff. That's not why I'm here, but there are people that backed it for PvE stuff that are upset that it's not there yet. pooped. I think you pooped. Hey, I just need to change your diaper. You actually didn't poop. Okay. Okay, I'll leave you alone. I'll leave you alone. You're fine. You're fine. I'm sorry you're upset. I was wrong. You just farted. All right. Whoa, there was a lot of ramp that happened over there. Are they dead? Copycat's pretty close to there. And again, this is one of our explosive draws. So Copycat, this card is a great use of the Hex resource system. So this card costs 0 to play, but it requires that you've played 5 Sapphire sources, or in our case, 4 Sapphire sources plus an Uzzu. So you get to go ahead and do that, and then I get to play this Commander P.R.O.M.P.T, and then I get to Copycat my Commander P.R.O.M.P.T, and they're gonna die. And like, honestly, like, I understand being upset that there's not multiplayer in there, but like, the people that complain about there not being enough PvE stuff, like, from the non-co-op standpoint, kind of confuse me, because like, I'm told there's like 20 to 30 hours of PvE stuff in the game, right, for the single player. And like, if you look at like AAA video games and like look at how much the single player storyline is, like how many hours there are for the single player storyline, like 20 to 30 hours is a lot. Plus replayability. Yeah, people just like to bitch. And I understand being... Okay, so my opponent's playing a Blood Wild deck, so bringing in the 2 interrupt target Blood Wild card is pretty good. I think I'm going to trim Empress because there's a non-zero chance that my opponent doesn't have a lot of troops in their deck. And the question is, do I want to bring in Verdict or Deny after that? This is more expensive, but it can counter any card, and it kind of becomes cheaper sometimes. Well, I mean, honestly, after looking at the feedback from the first 2 campaign zones, Derek, I understand why they didn't make another one. Because, like, the feedback, like, the amount of work that goes into making those campaign zones is probably more than every PvP thing they've done sans designing the cards. And I think Siege was a good attempt at, like, making user-generated PvE content, but they've just monetized it in the wrong way. I think Siege has a lot of potential to be exactly like what they need to make sustainable user-created PvE content, or at least a start to it, but the way they've monetized it seems less than ideal. Yeah, and I think that's the big thing, Ulthar. I think a lot of people, like, I took a break from Hex for a little while because I didn't really care for, like, how they were supporting Constructed. And, like, now that they're supporting Constructed in a way that I appreciate, I'm playing the game again. And the people that were here for the PvE, they just need to go do something else with their time. There's tons of games out there that they could have fun playing, and if at some point in the future Hex adjusted their PvE and it was what they wanted, they should come back and play it again. But instead, they just like sit there and dwell on these Kickstarter promises from what's like 5-6 years ago at this point, and it's just like y'all need something better to do with your lives. Hex turned 5 today. Yep. Which means the Kickstarter was older than that, right? Are there any reasonably priced combo decks you'd recommend? So, again, I don't really want to recommend any explicit decks in Immortal at least yet, because I genuinely don't know what's good and what's bad. So I don't want to, like, say, hey, this is probably good, and then, like, have it not be good, because we just, like, don't have data on the format yet. That's impressive, Spellweaver. That's impressive. So what does this do? This is the ramp gem. Whenever it attacks, they gain a resource. They're probably a Horrors of War deck, which makes these Runebinds quite excellent. Yeah, the Merry Melee modes especially. I think wanting to monetize the Merry Melee modes is fine, but I think at the very least, the first hit should have been free. Whenever they rotate the format, it should be free. The Immortal Championships are so far apart that they don't allow a real metagame to really exist or be created, in my opinion. So while we have had these few like 60 to 100 player tournaments, I don't think that's enough to make reasonable expectations about the format. And honestly, Jotra, they just need better trade features, right? Like, if you could import a list of cards to an in-game mail to attach in one click, you wouldn't even need an actual, like, work out the muddy details of a lend feature. Consult the Talon is a good draw here. Do I want to copycat one of these so that way I can consult for one less resource? Is that nuts? That's probably nuts, right? I could copycat this Warpsteel Shardsworn and then consult for one. I kind of like that since I have this other copycat in my hand. Because like this will be able to make resources or make things. Okay. And again, I don't think this Empress is actually very good. They don't have any troops in play, so I'm actually just going to go ahead and hit this for now and poke them for 2, I think. Because the way my hand... Maybe I'm supposed to hold up double Runebind this turn. We're looking for a Commander P.R.O.M.P.T at this point. If we hit Commander P.R.O.M.P.T, we'll kill them with these copycat. You got an eye booger? Do you need help? You want me to get it off? Do you want me to turn your tablet on? You're good. You're good. You want me to turn this on?
Oh.
For those wondering why I'm not streaming Magic currently, that's why. We've got the kids in the background. So do I Runebind the Extinction, or do I Runebind one of my troops? So Runebind the Extinction puts it in a stasis state, which means it's going to come back and get us. I think I Runebind the Extinction just because I have so many Runebinds in my hand. Well, that didn't work out for us. They're playing Roots. Okay, so Roots make these Runebinds a lot worse. I'm probably going to trim some of them in the post-board games and bring in some Deny, or in game 3 and bring in a Deny. Ooh, that's really good. Tribunal Magistrate. That's really unfortunate. I actually boarded out 2 copies of Empress of Ice because I wasn't expecting her to be very good in this matchup. We just happened to draw the only 2 copies of Empress of Ice we left in the deck. Immortal's largely unexplored. I've been enjoying what we're playing so far, but I definitely haven't played enough to have an educated or informed opinion on it. I think we're far enough behind. Like, I guess I'm gonna keep playing just in case to see if they have any actual troops in their deck. But I think, is it nuts to cut all of my Empresses for the 3rd game? It feels like they probably don't have any troops, right? Do we think that's unreasonable? Based on what we've seen? I don't think that's true. One of the reasons why I think this Empress deck is really good is I think you have a shot against everything, just between like your counter spells and your other things like that that can get under people. I think your nut draws can run most people out of the game. They might have Spell Shield Runeers. Yeah, that's true. So the problem with these Tribunal Magistrates is they basically don't have to play any more spells to win this game is the issue, right? Is the current issue. So like maybe making 3 of these wasn't very good. Horrors of War doesn't matter. Like Runebind is like insane against Horrors of War, right? Which is like a reason to leave Runebinds in my deck. Horrors of War doesn't do shit, chat. Come on now. Come on, chat. Act like the adults some of you are. Yeah, honestly, maybe I was just supposed to like make a bunch of Empresses and attack them. I guess like this gives me the out to like draw Warpsteel Shardsworn and then kill them with an activation, which is nice. Yeah, I guess I'll keep playing, because like, if I draw a Warpsteel Shardsworn, we get to kill them. I've already played... Oh no, I've only played one of those technically, right? Because this was a copycat? Yeah. They're not killing us particularly fast here. So I get to diddle their constants here, not that it really does anything. So I assume we're not going to see our opponent play any more cards this game other than just like sitting here and making dreadlings, because like these dreadlings that they make with the rectory ramp them resources, which allow them to snowball how many dreadlings they can make every turn. And like the dreadlings keep snowballing, so they get to keep making more dreadlings every single turn. So again, we're just really hoping to draw a copy of Warpsteel Shardsworn, so that way we can just like activate it and then kill them because of these triple Tribunal Magistrates here. So this lets them sacrifice health to put spiderlings in my deck, which is pretty good too. Now, I think I'm just supposed to hope to hit a Warpsteel before I hit a bunch of spiders here. You know what? I should have kept that Sapphire resource in my hand, so that way I could have exhausted spiders after we drew them. Because there's a good chance we draw spiders here. Yep. Verdict is pretty good here. I guess copycatting Skittering Cultivator is valuable too, though. I probably just want the Verdict, right? To like not get extinctioned. Oh, copycat their spider. Copycat their spider is great. Right, this can copy anything. Need to diddle their spiders here. Yeah, the rectory damage is very done here. The rectory damage is very done. That's not how we're winning this game. We have to try and get under them here. We have this 13-1. This 13-1 is amazing. This, if we get to attack with it, also is going to get to Diligence and make some giant dreadlings, which is nice. And again, like, if they play some stuff here, we can potentially Runebind our way through making... Yeah, so I'm going to Runebind this. And every time they cast a spell, we get 6 spiders in their deck. 6 eggs in their deck. So they're going to have to start sacrificing things to draw cards here and try and draw resources. To like un-Runebind this extinction, basically. But this is my line. I think we're supposed to have taken that instead of taking the Verdict of the Ancient Kings. Alright, I get to play that again. I get to do this again. I think I'm going to trim a non-zero amount of my Runebinds here. Just because, like, actual counterspells would have been much better here, obviously. Yeah, good beats, good beats. So, I guess at this point, I keep playing just because, like, they put 12 eggs in their deck. But I've got so many more eggs in my deck, yeah. Although I guess that they can't keep drawing cards and gaining health without risking drawing eggs, right? That's very aggressive. Was it 18? We definitely have more than 18 eggs in our deck, so. Yeah, we're pretty dead here. Alright, yeah, I think I missported. I definitely think I missported. I think these Empresses shouldn't be in my deck. Regular Extinction plus 2 Runebinds, yep. I think these Empresses just shouldn't be in my deck. I think I want this Deny. I think I want some more Verdicts. I think I want this. I think Psychic Ascension's probably too slow. I think I want a board like this. No, Transmog is not Pipit Hustler. It's troops only. Pokemon Nerd with the 3-month Tier 1 resubscription. Thank you very much and welcome back. I appreciate the continued support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we've got 2 shots to draw a 3rd resource. If we draw a 3rd resource on time, we get to curve Warpsteel into Consult on the play, and then hopefully set up Tribunal Magistrate with a Confounding Ire to protect it. So this hand is very reasonable. Very, very reasonable. We just need to hit that 3rd resource here, ideally. We unfortunately don't have any ice to guarantee that, but Arcane Focus is also an okay draw. Perfect, just like we drew it up. You want to go to bed? You want to go to bed? Oh, you want to take your on to bed? Okay, hold on just a minute. Deal? So I get to look at my stuff and take one. They might just take the Confounding Ire here. I think if they take the Confounding Ire, I'm going to Consult next turn. If they take a Consult, I might play the Tribunal Magistrate. Yeah, they only get to look at the actions in my hand. They don't get to see. They don't. So they don't know that I have these 2 cards. Yeah, I think I just go Shard Consult here, just like digging for another copy of a counterspell since I've got Verdicts and Confounding Ires and Denies and stuff in my deck right now. Runebind would also be like kind of okay. I think I take the risk of playing into an Extinction next turn by going Shard, Tribunal, Consult, just because I'm going to get to gas up so much. If they don't have an Extinction, they're going to get dumpstered. Well, now I get to do that. And now if I draw a Runebind, we can hold it up. We did not draw a Runebind. Alright, I'm just going to play this out to guarantee a non-resource on top of my deck. So hopefully we can hit a Verdict or a whatever here. Yeah, Magistrate into Copycat's going to be a buck ton of damage next turn. We can actually activate Warpsteel Shardsworn as well. Yeah, I'm not surprised to see them pull the trigger on that there. That's a good line on their part. They just want to be conservative, I think. Commander P.R.O.M.P.T is very good too. This exposes us a little bit to Hero Fall, but I think that's fine. Plays around. It doesn't really play around anything. I think this is fine. It's gonna suck if we get Hero Fall, but it is what it is. Hero Fall, for those that are new to Hex, it's a 3-cost destroy target troop, and it gets rid of all copies of that troop out of your opponent's deck in hand. So if they Hero Fall this Tribunal Magistrate, I'm gonna lose this Tribunal Magistrate in my hand. We really want to draw, yep, we really want to draw a Verdict of the Ancient Kings or Runebind or something like that here. I think I'm just not in a position to play around another Extinction here. Some games you can beat the second sweeper in, some games you can't. I'm pretty sure this is one we just can't. It's just like being down that resource here, so I'm just going to double prompt here and then smack them for 5. And then I'm not going to play this because it kind of lets us play around a sweeper. Like, it lets us, like, draw another Consult to gas back up from a sweeper. If they don't have exactly a second Extinction here in their top 13 cards, yeah, get out of here. So this is them checking and then they're going to Extinction us. If they just have a piece of spot removal here, the Warpsteel plus activate is basically lethal next turn. Nope, Jake's sleeping. Leave him alone. Do you have the extinction or not? Can I concede? Dig for it. So annoying. Good beats, good beats, good beats. I think that matchup's a little bit tough for us. I think I also misboarded in the second game. I should have identified that I didn't want Empress of Ice in my deck, and if I would have had like Commander P.R.O.M.P.T or more counter spells instead of those Empress of Ices, I probably would have won the game. What's going on, zombie? Old Fleur. Looks like they're playing a Candles deck. Do I want to guarantee another resource here? Probably. Was playing Warpsteel last turn better than the double prompt? I don't think either. So the problem with not playing the double prompt out is then we can't double prompt through a hero fall. And I think we were able to beat a hero fall with the sequence I took, as opposed to not being able to beat something with the other draw. Yeah, like we're playing a troop-based deck. We're playing a tempo deck, right? And like the troop, a go-wide tempo deck, and they had double sweeper, and they had a double discard spell to take away our disruption. So like their draw just happened to line up well with what we're doing. Sometimes they have two of their best card in the top 13 cards of their deck, and like you're gonna get killed by that. I think I made good decisions to minimize the good draws that my opponent could have, and I think they just ended up having a draw that lined up well against us. This is probably Turbo PA. It's a pretty good pickup. It's a shame we don't have a copy of Consult to kind of go nuts here. I'm very happy with all the decisions I made in the previous match, except for how I reserved in the second game. I think I didn't identify what my opponent was doing correctly, and I got punished for that by having bad cards in my deck in the second game that ended up costing us. Do I want to hold up Runebind next turn? Probably not. Just gonna stick this Commander P.R.O.M.P.T. I don't know that I want to copycat the Commander P.R.O.M.P.T, because if my opponent has a Runebind or a Runebind here, that would be really bad for me. So I'm just gonna go ahead and attack with these and see what they do. Okay, they don't have it, it doesn't look like. I'm still just gonna pass the turn for now, I think. So I can copycat this next turn, maybe. If my opponent has Sapphire Shard into Cyclone Shaper, we could actually die this turn. Or they could set up to kill us 2 turns from now. That's a good start for us. Okay. Good chance we kill them this turn, since we got this Runebind up here and they only have 1 resource. So I get to do this. I get to activate this for 2 Dreadlings. I get to copycat my Commander P.R.O.M.P.T, and then everything's attacking for a minimum of 5, and they have 2 blockers. So this should be lethal. What's going on, Apprentice? I actually didn't get to... I haven't played the Happy Clouds deck yet, because I wanted to prioritize playing a couple of decks that have cheaper cost of entry points for Immortals. That way people that are new to the format have reasonable choices to get in with. Yeah, they're dead, right? Yeah. Okay, here's the question here. And again, like, this format is new, and these matchups are new to me. Like, the last time Empress was a real deck, Turbo PA wasn't quite a real deck. It's like, how do I want to approach this matchup post-board? Tribunal Magistrate's very good here for starters. This card basically nerfs their combo from happening. So the question after that becomes, like, what reserve cards do I want to fight this? Do I want to fight them by transmogging their Cyclone Shapers? Well, I can Runebind to get around that. Do I want to fight them by... I'm definitely the aggressive deck, but the question is, like, how do I want to address being the aggressive deck? Do I want to bring in Verdicts and Denies? Thought my badge was gone forever, but we salvaged it. Money sub going towards Clouds then, so they're so flipping happy. Thank you, Apprentice, for the tier 3 sub. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think Twitch gives you like 30 days to pick it back up. Do you think Empress is good enough here? It's probably not, right? what do we think of just like trimming this because it's not aggressive because the prison element's not very good, and then like bringing in some copies of Denies and some Transmogrifades to fight their Shaper? Does that seem reasonable? Last time when the deck that my opponent was playing was popular, I remember like Shaper was the card you really wanted to fight over as opposed to trying to like fight their spells. So I think I just want the Denies and the Transmogs. I'm gonna do that and see how it feels. Again, just like I'm learning here too with the rest of y'all. Seems okay. Some resources or Warpsteel Shardsworn. Ideally, like one shard and a Warpsteel Shardsworn, but it's got a lot of things we want in this matchup. That's interesting. Do I guarantee? I think I just guarantee my 4th shard with this. I think I just guarantee my 4th shard with this. Now they can play Cyclone Shaper as early as next turn, but usually they can't go off on 3 without playing things out ahead of time. Yeah, so there's the Shaper. Just watch your Jeskai Tokens video on YouTube. You were just a Dragonfight over Raise Alarm. So I don't think that's a huge difference. I think most of the decks that you want those tokens against, they're not going to be playing around you casting Raise the Alarm anyways, and you're just going to be trading aggressively in the first place. So I think, and I addressed this in the video too. I think people who are like think that Raise the Alarm being instant speed is relevant. I think you're overestimating how tricksy that you're overestimating how good that card is and overvaluing being able to be tricky, basically. All right, good chance we die here. If they start comboing, I'm gonna go change a diaper. Into the Unknown, my Skittering Cultivator. Okay, so Into the Unknown returns a card to my hand and then changes that card and every other card in my deck into a different card of the same threshold. So that one's gone. Ooh, Unhinged is good technology in their deck. It's pretty good against us. So they're playing to be a little bit more interactive this game. I guess they think their linear game plan's not quite good enough against us. I guess that's probably fair. We're pretty disruptive. Into the Unknown's a little brutal. Maybe if they're on the Into the Unknown plan, maybe I want my 1 Psychic Ascension in my deck. I think it's very possible I want the Psychic Ascension in my deck if they're on Into the Unknown. Put a non-resource on top of my deck here. Alright, they're flooding a little bit. We've got a Consult and they don't, so I guess they're just like giving us the business here in the air. Yep, let's drop a wax, enjoy. Empowered Cyclone Shaper. Alright, well we're dead in 2 in the air. So really want to draw a Transmogrifade. So that Brood Bounty used to be a Skittering Cultivator. Runebind or Transmogrifade, please. I think we're dead, chat. I think we're just about to die to Cyclone Shaper beatdown. Yeah. It does. You're not wrong. It definitely does that. Huh. I don't know. Unhinged really makes me want Psychic Ascension, but maybe that's wrong. Unhinged and Into the Unknown. I think I'm just going to keep this game plan. I think I'm just going to fix it now. It's the bane of my early Hex existence. Let's go, Dad Barty. a hand with Magistrate in the opener is too good to pass up. Especially, this hand's just, like, good in general, right? Like, the couple of slow shards are kind of awkward, but they're going to find me non-slow shards, hopefully. And, like, I've got Deny, Transmog, Tribunal Magistrate. All of these cards are, like, good in this matchup for sure. I wonder... Again, this is an elemental, so they could have Unhenge up as early as next turn. Which is kind of annoying. Yep, drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Oh, gee, Arcane Focus. Just gonna jam this. So they have the Transmogger, the Into the Unknown. They have the Transmogger, the Into the Unknown. Feel like getting an under unhinged there is valuable. Whoa. Whoa. Is this going to be a consult? Yeah, buddy, you do you. Remember, every spell they cast, they get 2 spiders in their deck. Whoa, this shard Copycat my Tribunal Magistrate should pretty much be lights out at this point with the Deny in my hand. Are they actually dead this turn? How close are they to dead? They're pretty close to dead, right? So I put this out, and then I can play this and activate it. I have three Venom. All right. Well, now we're just gonna jam it anyways because we can't hold up. We can't hold it up anymore. So, pass the turn. Can't activate this, though, because it costs more. I guess I should have played that first, maybe, to play around a Runebind in that situation. Maybe I was supposed to do that. Maybe I was supposed to play that out first. So, like, they have 6 eggs in their deck right now. 7, 8 eggs in their deck. Oh, yeah, just stack them spooty eggs up in your deck. So they've drawn a lot of cards, and there's still 51 cards in their deck. Oh, yeah. Ah, yeah. You make them count. Yeah, 60 cards in your deck. Can you taste it, Mr. Krabs? Can you taste it? It's so tasty. It's so tasty. Is it worth trying to transmog that? I don't think so. I think I just want to hold these in case they Cyclone Shaper. Like, I could potentially transmog that into a non-resource, but I could also, like, turn it into a Polyberry Pouch. I have no resources. Shut up. Shut up. I knew that. I knew I had no resources. Shh. Okay. So we just attack with my unblockable Spooter here. Spooter. Do I want to hold this? No, I don't want to hold this resource, so I boarded out all my Empresses, right? And maybe if they're on the Illum's Parade, it's wrong to board out my Empresses. These Transmogs can reduce these, which is nice. They might just try and beat us down. They need to answer the Spiderling, though, right? So, like, if they don't have an answer to the Spiderling in their hand, they're, like, obligated to dig for one. Yeah, and they don't even have a way to dig for one. Or maybe they do, and they just know they're pretty likely to. A good hit. I think I need to change a diaper. I'm going to double check again. Do you want to go up to your bed? Can we change your diaper first?
No.
I need to change your diaper first, okay? You want to take your arm to bed? Nope, just put your box at ease. Sorry about that. That's why we're doing Hex today and not magic stuff, double dipping on dad duty. There were no answers to dig for. That's awkward. Kendril. God, there's so many champions in Immortal now, too. It's great. This 3 charges. Put target opposing card into its controller's hand. I'm going to keep this. 1 Sapphire Shard, and Arcane Focus, and a Dream. A Sapphire Shard, an Arcane Focus, and a Dream. Oh, baby, just running good. When you're running good, you're running good. Okay, so they're playing Sockets. This matchup might be tough. I just genuinely don't know. Everything's a surprise. I'm just not gonna speculate. Not gonna speculate. Let's just play some card games in a basically new format and see how it goes. When focus isn't worse than shard call, right? Ooh, that's pretty good. So when this deals damage to us, they get to steal one of my troops. Those are not the resources I was looking to draw. I think I'm just going to give him one of my toys here. Okay, just give him one of my toys. If we would have drawn a shard there, we would have been able to go boom into boom. Nah, I think I just want to like play my cards out here. I think I'd rather just play my cards out. Yeah, they could also keep their lapidary there just like that, which is great for us. Looking for a shard, looking for a shard. Hi-ho, the cheerio, looking for a shard. Don't play another one, don't play another one, don't play another one, don't play another one, don't play another one. God damn it. Oh, the chain. That probably means we're dead. If we hit next turn, we could be okay. It's going to be all she wrote. Darkheart's real good there. So Darkheart was going to get rid of my Rude. It makes me sacrifice an unsocketed card, and all of my other little minions are socketed. I think this is a matchup where I want all my Transmogrifades. I'm not actually sure that I want all my Runebinds here. I think this is just like a, I kind of like our game 1 plan, but I'm going to trade Transmogrifades for Runebinds, so to go 4-1 in the other direction. Runebind's like the more flexible card overall, but like when we want to kill specific units, Transmog's definitely much better at that. Like we have Empress to deal with the rabbit. Yeah, the Sapphire Wild Socket deck seems really sweet. What's the dollar price on Runear these days? Peace, zombie. Have a good one. Thanks for dropping by. I'll be on with some Magic tonight once my wife is home. The kids are both sleeping right now, but who knows when they'll be up. Declan actually asked me to take him upstairs and put him in his bed, so I just did that. Jake's still asleep on the couch. Yeah, the opponent's deck seems really sweet. This is a keep. It's not a fast, aggressive draw, but like with a shard, it's like turn 4 Empress lock into Commander P.R.O.M.P.T with a transmog to slow them down a little bit. I think this is reasonable. It's funny, Hex Primal has actually come down a lot more than the Auction House. Like the Auction House has really bad price memory, But a lot of the stuff I was looking at, it seemed like Hex Primal had pulled their prices down because they knew that things rotate. $5 for Hierophant, that's good. That's reasonable. $15 for the AAs. I think I'm just going to transmog this. I just want to take this off the table. Yeah, for fuck's sake. I forgot that this is something that this can turn into now. Well, that's awkward. That things that didn't go. Things that didn't go exactly as planned. So I just Empress here. I'm just gonna Empress here. So I can block their rune here. Yeah, one of the big things Hex needs to do. Oh, they didn't have another thing. That's interesting. One of the big things Hex needs to do to fix their game is the actual gameplay is great. It's just a lot of the non-gameplay things that are kind of muddled for Hex right now. They need to fix the auction house, because a big part of why the game cannot be affordable at times is because the small community combined with how awkward the auction house is allows people to game the system really well. There's something busted in Immortal to do with this card. As far as, like, busted Immortal things go, there is 100% something busted to be doing in this format that involves this card. What is it exactly? I don't have the answer to that, but there is something in this format that's really busted that involves Forge of Kadak. Speaking from TCG experience. So do I want a Tribunal Magistrate here? So that's just gone, just dead, just useless. Do I want a Magistrate or Commander P.R.O.M.P.T? I'm definitely copycatting something. Oh, I guess if I was gonna do that, I should have just fucking done it there. Yeah, I'm dumb. I'm dumb. If I was gonna, okay, I'm gonna do this out of shame now. If I was gonna do this, I should have done it pre-combat. Maybe that was the better line. I don't actually know. I've played small amounts of Immortal, Jet, but the Immortal that was there to be played previously was by and large just like one tournament that happened every 2 months. So like the format doesn't really have what I would define as like an established metagame. And like one 60 to 100 player tournament that happens every X months like isn't really relevant. Oh fuck, we're very dead. Very dead. Alright, we're 2-2. We're 2-2. Might be kind of a medium run. I think I definitely fucked up the first loss. I think that loss, there wasn't a whole lot to be done, but I definitely messed up the first loss. This is going to be my last gauntlet of the afternoon, so if we lose one more, we'll be done. If we win up to 3 more, we'll be done. So we have between 1 and 3 matches left. Thanks everyone for hanging out. I appreciate it. If you didn't catch the Red Lings matches earlier, those will be up on YouTube after I'm done, and this one will be live on YouTube once I get to upload and process it. It's probably going to take a little while, especially like the socket stacks in this format. Like there's probably a couple different good iterations of the socket stacks, and people are going to have to take a while to optimize them because there's so many different combinations of socketed cards that you can play. Howdy Bramaz. So many good socketed cards you can play. So many good sockets that you can play in different combinations with the different cards. How is standard on this game now? It's okay. It seems fine. I got to Cosmic on their standard ladder this season playing an infinite combo deck. That was kind of sweet. I don't think it's tier 1, but it's a lot of fun. There's some videos of that on my YouTube channel. The Bash tournaments that happen every weekend seem to have a pretty varied metagame. Cressida, 17 health champion for 3 charges, taking a temporary resource till end of turn. Sounds okay. It doesn't have any disruption in it, but it's got a pretty quick aggressive draw. You're not wrong, Embercool. Yeah, like the deck that I played to Cosmic this season definitely isn't even considered one of the good decks in the format. It's very, very mild, but it's a fun deck, and I enjoyed playing it. We could get Krakasword here. Getting Krakasword here would be really pretty bad for us. If we don't get Krakasword, we're going to have Dreadlings that are so large they're going to be forced to jump block. And I mean, and another thing about the Hex ladder too is to remember that, like, people don't just play optimal decks. Like, it's very easy. It's very reasonable to do well if you're an okay TCG player with decks that are, like, less than optimal. Just because you enjoy playing them, it's fine to play them. It's a pretty good draw. Alright, so what's the most damage here? I could... The opponent's likely playing a Titania's Majesty deck. They're missing their 3rd resource. I think I'm going to Copycat my Tribunal Magistrate here. And then I'm going to go ahead and cast Consult the Talons. Because if we draw an Empress of Ice, that'll lock them out of their puck unexhausting. And if we draw a... I guess the downside of that is if I play the Commander P.R.O.M.P.T, they're forced to chump block. But I kind of want to find a Runebind or an Empress of Ice, I think. Yeah, Runebind is great here. Transmog is also very good. So I get to go ahead and attack here. And now I have Runebind in case they draw anything too scary. And I can transmog this Periwinkle actually too. I guess the Runebind wasn't very good without the transmog because of Periwinkle. So maybe my line here was actually bad. But because I drew this, it's definitely good. So I actually want to transmog during my opponent's ready step here, and the reason for this is they likely have copies of Gargalith in their deck. So if they have a copy of Gargalith, I want them to spend those resources on their turn to protect this Periwinkle. Since they're kind of choked on resources, that's ideal for us. Yeah, so my line was actually kind of bad, but like we drew the Transmog to bail us out. Opponent stumbled and fumbled there, just like had classic ramp deck problems. Like, didn't have enough mana sources, had too many big things. How do I want to board this matchup? Empress of Ice is probably bad in this matchup, just because this matchup isn't about locking their board down. It's probably more about stopping their like burst damage from happening. So I think I'm going to get rid of these. Transmog can actually interrupt some of their Titania's Majesties, depending on what they are. Confounding Ire seems very good, just like interrupt target wildcard for 2. Maybe I trim 1 Runebind. Seems fine. What do you think of that? I don't think I want to like cut up my like 4x like primary aggressive game plan, since I'm already like cutting Empress of Ice, but I think like bringing in the 2 Ires and the extra Transmogs to like break up like Pox and the 3-drop that they had, Periwinkle. I think this seems fine. Stand seems okay. I've got Transmogs to provide disruption, and then I've got Skittering Cultivator and Commander P.R.O.M.P.T to help me close the game out. I'm really not a big fan of cutting Arcane Focus, but maybe that's correct. This is just a pretty easy stack of resource on top here, I think. Okay, so they have a Puck, so we'll burn. I think I'm pretty obligated to burn a Transmog on this. This card's pretty scary. It threatens to generate a lot of resources for them. I guess the upside to just waiting here is that I could go Skittering Cultivator, and then next turn I could go Skittering Cultivator plus Transmog. We're gonna let the greed flow through us. Let the greed flow through us. Sweet. That's not bad, Marty. It's not bad at all. And good morning, Mustfall casting. Jake is actually looking like he's waking up. That means they don't have Ruby. 7, that's a lot. What do we got? They have Majesty here? Fuck, 7. That means they have 4 giant things in their hand. Dreamweaver Ancient. That's very good. So that when this hits us, it deals damage to us equal to... They get a random troop equal to the amount of damage that they dealt. This is not. The greed was not good, chat. The greed was not good. And I boarded my Empresses out. Do I have a good way to crawl back from this? I'm not sure that I do. Don't understand Hex. What hinders viewing? Sadly, this game does not invoke the same kind of reactions from Jeff as Magic. I mean, I'm also just kind of mellow right now because, like, Jake's sleeping on the couch behind me. So, context for that is important. And watching any card game. You want your tablet on? Watching any card game that you don't understand the cards on, like, for all the props that Hearthstone gets for, like, being super accessible and stuff like that, like, it's really not that easy to watch even Hearthstone on Twitch if you aren't familiar with what all the cards do. That's why I really think, like, Hearthstone has the interactive Twitch overlay. I really think Hex and Magic and games like that, they should really prioritize investing in Twitch, basically. Like, investing in making their game accessible to viewers on Twitch is really important, I think, for the future of these games. Like, Twitch is, like, the easiest advertising you can get for your products. I think without... without Empress in my deck, maybe I should never board all my Empresses out. Maybe I am just supposed to trim the Arcane Focus as filler. Maybe that's what's supposed to go. They probably fixed it, Jin. I think there was a bug in the pricing when they put it up. Oh, that has momentum as well. I forgot that this gets super dead. Yes, it by me? Let's put some Empresses in my deck here. I don't think I want all 4, but like 2 to 3 is probably fine. Let's do this. Let's do this. Yeah, see, but again, like, that's a third-party thing. So, like, that could be done for Magic Online, and it can be done for Arena, but, like, the actual companies aren't investing resources into it. They're not, like, working on having it happen. That's just, like, it's like Stream Decker, right? It's some community member has decided that it's worth their time to create it. I think YouTuber are more value than Twitch. I'm working on a gaming company, and we have a lot of 100K YouTubers that we use our stuff. That's cheap marketing. As a content producer, it is much easier to monetize via Twitch than it is YouTube, though. I thought there was, I think it was Ranting Bob was talking about how, like, you need to have, like, multiple 100,000 YouTube subscribers on average to be able to make a living off it, whereas Twitch's subscription monetization model really allows people to monetize the content that they're creating very easily. I'm gonna be greedy and Fate Weave a non-resource to the top here, because this draw 3 should guarantee that we hit a resource, most likely. We'll get to go Warpsteel on 2 into this on 3. It's YouTube streaming and VODs. Yeah, and like I use Twitch to leverage, or YouTube to leverage the VODs afterwards, right? Because like Twitch doesn't really have a good system for, like, their watching past broadcast archives are, like, really bad. But, like, from a strict creator, I'm going to turn what I'm creating into my job standpoint, like, YouTube is, like, really miserable to grow on. As far as, like, being able to monetize with it. Now, twice as expensive is a very big deal, in my opinion. Snarling Brave is interesting. We could die next turn. I don't think I can. I think we just, like, take a chance to die. And, like, at this point, too, like, trying to compete with Twitch is, like, it's like trying to create Google Plus, right? Like, Google has just, like, missed the mark yet again, and they're too far behind at this point, and they're not going to be able to bring something new into it. This is going to be a Brosy Buck. Alrighty. Well, that just happened. So this card says, when it comes into play, each player discards their hand and creates 5 random cards that they meet the threshold requirements to play. I don't even know what half these cards do. Consult. Tilt. I think we're pretty dead. If it matters for the VODs, we can hear Jake's tablet. I mean, if the VOD gets demonetized, the VOD will get demonetized. That's fine. Jake, this is it. These videos don't really make money. The Magic videos actually make an okay amount of money, but the Hex videos don't really get that many views. I appreciate the heads up, though. Like, again, like reasons why we're streaming Hex this afternoon instead of Magic. Maybe I'm supposed to stack a shard just so I can play these 7 drops. I mean, to be fair, their champ power doesn't really do much either. If they attack here, I'm going to double block, I think. Mortar Strike, deal 3 damage, put that troop. Put all troops in the top 3 cards of that deck into their crypt. That's really fucking weird. Sure. Alright, and this deals double damage because of the gems, so we're going to take 7 here. I don't think I want to jump block. I mean, that's not strictly true. I enjoy playing Magic. Like, the Magic doesn't make enough money to be like, okay, I'm gonna play Magic instead of, like, going to work. You got something to eat? You want a granola bar? Yeah. Or do you want Pop-Tart? Sounds like hell unlimited. Here you go. Feel that? Enjoy. Enjoy. I've got this Confounding Ire, so maybe that can prevent us from getting totally ranged here. They drew a 7-drop, or they had a 7-drop. Warship when this deploys. Or watch you control this attack, summon 2. Alright, well we are very dead. Alright, well that was a medium-ish run. I don't know that I'm scared off of playing this deck necessarily. But I'm gonna have to put some thought into like what exactly I want to do with it. I think I definitely messed up the first loss we had in that gauntlet. I should have prioritized sideboarding differently against the Bloodwild deck that we played against, but the rest of those were kind of close. It probably could have held up some different interaction at different points. Finding whatever is the optimal mix of interaction in the main deck is true too, like are 4 Runebind, 1 Tribunal necessarily the right split or not, etc. At any rate, that's going to be it for me for this afternoon, folks. I'll be back with some Magic stuff this evening, probably about 3.5 to 4 or 5 hours from now. I'll post on Twitter and Discord when I go live. So thanks for your support, everyone, and I'll catch some of y'all this evening, hopefully. Everybody have a good rest of your afternoon.